Hello traders, it is Wednesday, April 10th, and that must mean that it's time for another video. Let's find some swing trades tonight. Before I get started, I'd like to encourage you to please click the like button if you're viewing this on YouTube and you like the content of the video. Also, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. What we do each week is we use Option Stalker to find new trades. I've got lots of very powerful searches that I like to use. This process should only take you 5 or 10 minutes because I'm describing everything. It's going to take me longer. So I'm going to start with the picks that we had from last week to see how they performed. And then we're going to use the platform to find new trades for this week. Ideally, I'd like to stick to maybe 2 or 3 picks so that you're not spread out too thin. You've got some stocks that you can really hone in on. This is the S&P 500, and you can see we are pancake flat in the last week. The market is compressing, and I'm going to put a couple of indicators up on Option Stalker. I'm going to put up the volume. This helps us gauge the average volume versus the volume right now. You can see how the blue line is dipping below zero. That means that the volume during the last week has been extremely light. Not great for trading. We did not have a market tailwind this week, so the stocks had to do this all on their own. I'm going to also add some moving averages. I'm going to click on SMA. I like the 200. I like the 100. I do also use the 50-day. Very easy. Toggle on, toggle off. I also will put up the 10 SI indicator. The default setting is 10 periods. That's fine. You'll see that it's at 0 because this is gauging strength versus the SPY. So it's 0 when I'm comparing it to itself. I'm going to go over and click on lists, and in the drop down you'll see Wednesday, April 3rd. What I did was I went in and I created a list with all of the stocks that I suggested buying last week. We didn't have any shorts because the market had just broken out to a new relative high. We were bullish. Unfortunately, we didn't have the market helping us out. But that's the beauty of what we do. We find relative strength within the overall market so that we don't have to have a market tailwind. Now, if we do happen to catch a market tailwind, these stocks are going to power higher. Without that tailwind, they should still at least hold their own and probably grind higher. That is our edge. Intel was one of the stocks I really liked. You can see here, if we go back, this was when I recorded the video. This is the first chance that you had to buy the stock. And you can see that Intel is higher, I think by about 50 cents from the first opportunity that you would have had to buy it. So it did well, especially in a flat market. Still like that stock. It is going to be announcing earnings next week, I believe, so have to watch it. It does have a tendency to move higher into earnings, so I would expect it to perform well during the next week. We have a search for that, by the way. And I'm not going to run it tonight, but I might mention it when I show you the custom search engine. NVIDIA was another stock that I liked last week. That was the first opportunity that you had to buy it. That's where the stock finished today. It is moving higher. So that was a really nice pick for us. I like this upward trend right here. You can see that it's maintaining its relative strength. It's had decent volume, at least on average volume. It's above the major moving averages. I still like the stock. I think it powers up to this 200-day moving average. OKTA was another one. Right here you can see that after the recording, actually the stock opened here and then sold off last Thursday, but it has since recovered very nicely. So let's say that you bought it on the open. You probably bought it at 89. It's about $3.50 higher right now. Really nice pick. Love this horizontal breakout. Love the relative strength. Love the volume. above the 50-day, 100-day, 200-day. Everything looks really good with this pick. That was a solid one. Here we've got last Thursday's open. You can see this is OLED. It also is higher than when the video came out last week. Compressing, breaking through this compression. It's through horizontal resistance here. Still has the relative strength. Volume could be a little bit better, but everything right now is kind of light because the market volume is light. Oh, this was a beautiful one. And I did trade this Thursday morning. I liked it so much when I did my video. I told all of you, this has all the characteristics of a stock that's going to shoot higher. SBGI, Sinclair Broadcasting, had that awesome relative strength, big volume spike, breakout through horizontal resistance, buy signal, stock opens around 41.50, closes at 43.50 today. That's a $2 winner on a $40 stock in a week. 5%. I'll take that anytime. So those were our picks from last week. Even though we didn't have the market helping us, it flatlined all week. We were in the right stocks, and every single one of them moved higher during the course of the week. So let's see if we can do a repeat performance. I'm going to click on the scanner, and I'm going to go to my favorite search for swing trades, which is Pop Bull. I'm going to stay in this daily chart right now, and we'll just take a look at maybe the top 10 picks. I know there are going to be some really good candidates in here because there are great candidates all the time, and we day trade a lot of these. So right here, it's not quite there for me. I'm going to put a GTC alert on it though right there, because if it can get through this horizontal resistance, I am way interested. Beautiful. Nice compression. First of all, big breakout after earnings. Now it compresses, it consolidates all of these gains without giving any of them back. So the buyers keep nibbling, nibbling, nibbling until finally, boom, time for the next leg higher. We've got our breakout here. This was actually on the list early this morning, and we love these for day trading because you put on a short-term chart, you see it right away, and you get a nice move right in there. If you follow the buy signals, boom, take your profits there, take your profits there. Nice stuff. Let's go to the next one. Love this horizontal breakout through all the major moving averages. Great relative strength, big volume. Oh yeah, got everything I like. Take a look at the 5-minute chart, and here you can see it started the day off very, very nicely. It came up on the list, and then it kind of waffled around, and that is definitely a news event. I like that the system was long it before this big pop, but in all honesty, I wouldn't have been long that stock because right in here, it's just kind of waffling around. But what I would have done, so I would have seen this, I would have watched it, I would have gone, you know, if it can get back through that high of the day, I'd be interested, and I certainly would have been alerted there. On this big volume spike here, yeah, I would have been watching for sure, especially when we get a breakout like that through horizontal resistance. I've got an alert that runs, and it's called Bullish Explosion. We only had one stock on it today, ZAYO. Let's take a look at it. These alerts come out during the day, and man, oh man, they are fantastic. And let me expand this just to see what time that alert came out. Came out at 10:30 this morning. Let's collapse this window down, and let's go to a 5-minute chart. Again, this is for day traders, so I don't want to, yeah, there's the initial move out of it, and this is where the alert came in, right on that 10:30 mark. But you still had really nice action on it from $30.72. It rallies about $1 Actually, it rallied more than $1. Super nice move. So we do look for these bullish explosions. I've got a search specifically for it, and there's a pop-up that comes up in the platform when there's a stock that meets the criteria. And in particular, we're looking for massive volume spikes. I search for that. I've got my own servers, and they dissect all of the time frames in 5-minute increments, so I can tell how this 5-minute period compares to the exact same 5-minute period over the course of the last 20 days. So I can see these volume spikes right away. In fact, I can even search for them using the custom search engine. So let's go back to Pop Bull. And yes, I absolutely like those big explosions, especially when they're through major resistance, major horizontal resistance levels. So we're going to go back and take a look at a few more. Love this. This is beautiful. Breakout through horizontal resistance, big volume spike, relative strength, above all the major moving averages. GTN, yeah, this stock's going to go higher. After a big day like today, I'd love to try and buy it back in this 24 area, maybe 23.50. Any pullback in here, I would start watching for support, and then yeah, I would want to be on that for sure. And I'm going to put an alert up. This is nice, a little choppy, not my favorite. I want orderly price action. That's pretty orderly in there. This is pretty orderly. I'd like it more through here. I'd like it through the 100-day. Since I'm looking at it, let's drop an alert line. Put it right there, 100-day. Start to fill in that little gap right there. Keep taking a look here. All right, so nice, tight price action. This is beautiful. Big gap higher on earnings before the open there. Compresses just like the other stock we looked at. Now it's through that horizontal resistance and it's off to the races. And this is another one that came up on the search early in the day. Buy, take profits. Buy, you're out. Buy, you're out, but you catch a nice one in toward the close of the day in here. But it's in and out. You had one really nice trade right in here. The rest of them were kind of scratches because the system was in and out of it, but the stock did power higher throughout the course of the day. I really like this one. So I'm not going to highlight these stocks. I'm just going to mention them. So I'm not going to review them next week, but I would like TGNA, and I believe the other stock was VNTR. I really like this. No, wasn't that one? It was GTN. Really like this one. And this one is my favorite out of the two. That's what you look for. Nice, orderly, predictable price action. Stocks that like to trend. Major moving averages. Horizontal breakouts. Relative strength. Good volume. You start adding up all these pieces of the puzzle, and when you have stocks that meet all the criteria, your probability of success is sky high. It's on a buy signal. Got it all. That's what we want. So yes, GTN I think moves higher. So I want to show you some other searches that we can run, and I'm going to go into custom search. All you need is Pop Bull. For swing trading, you don't need anything else. You could knock through this list in 5 minutes. Click, 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 click. Just go right through them. And I'm sure there are a ton of really good stocks in here. If I knock through all of these, we'd have our 2 stocks easily. I've already found 2 just by looking at the top 6 or 7 stocks that came up in the search itself. So let's put custom search up. We're going to keep it so easy. I love volume, so we're going to look for high volume. I love options, so we're going to look for good option liquidity. And let's go to maybe a 3 or higher option liquidity. That should be fine. Let's just do that. Nice. Heavy volume, good option liquidity. Let's do something else. Stock is greater than the prior day high. Okay, this should narrow the list. There we go. Now I know BBBY posted earnings today. If I wanted to very quickly, I'll show you that after I'm done because I don't want to change the criteria. I don't trade stocks, and there you can see that it announces A after the close. I don't trade stocks before earnings announcements. Let me qualify that. I will trade them the day before or the week or two before, but I will not hold over the number. I don't like crapshoots, and that is a complete gamble in my eyes. Post earnings, after the number, oh my God, I love trading post earnings. In fact, earnings season is going to kick off Friday with some of the major banks posting, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan. And by next Wednesday, we'll start getting a few earnings, but within the next 2 to 3 weeks, earnings will really be cranking up. That's when I'm going to show you how to use the earnings search features to nail some of these stocks that are moving higher after earnings announcements. So I'm going to click through these. We know they have good options, liquid options. This is nice. That's a nice horizontal breakout. That's a bit of a compression right there. We've got good relative strength. We've got good volume. I'm just going to drop an alert. Not familiar with this particular company, so I'm going to click Stock ER. It stands for expert rating. And here I can see that they are a retailer. And then I can take a look at our proprietary technical indicator, fundamental indicator. So fundamentals are pretty good, technical is very strong, decent option liquidity. And then you can see where the strength or weakness comes from the stock technically. Again, this is in the Stock ER tab. If you wanted to see the earnings release, you click that, and it's going to show you the prior earnings release. Very nice feature. But I'm going to put an alert there. I'm not going to buy this stock. It's a little bit herky-jerky and choppy, and I don't know that it has decided what it wants to do yet. So I'm going to take a pass on it, and we're going to keep looking at other candidates. Ooh, I like this. It's pretty choppy in here too, but you can see that is a little cup and handle formation right there with a very nice horizontal breakout and follow through. Good relative strength, good volume. CVE, it's an energy company, basic material. Oil prices have been moving higher. Energy stocks are doing well right now. I like it. Here we've got DAL, Delta Airlines, announced before the open. They liked the number, but they sold it all day. If it can hold this breakout right here, it might be a decent stock to buy, but airlines, I don't know. I just find them to be very, very volatile. And with rising energy prices, their costs are going to go up, and that will impact their profit margins. Now here's an interesting stock, very choppy, sells off after earnings. All I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a GTC alert line. If it gets above this alert line, and it may take it a few weeks to do that, once it gets into this gap, it's going to have a tendency to fill, and then I will be very interested in it, if for no other reason than to sell out of the money puts below the $25 strike price right here, knowing that this will then become support. But not one of my favorite candidates, so we're going to keep looking. Don't see anything I really like there. This is nice. This stock is powering higher, and I really like this breakout here. Love the relative strength. Love the volume. we need to get a little bit of a pullback here. We got to be able to buy this maybe at today's opening price of 21.60 or so. I don't want to chase this stock, but man, oh man, that is a nice move. So I'm going to put an alert, and actually I clicked alert, which would be just for the day. I want a GTC alert. So I'm going to place it right there. I'm going to remove this by right clicking, delete object. So this is a really good looking stock right here, but I don't want to chase it. So we're going to continue to look for our next candidate, but I really like this. We can buy it, yeah. Xilinx, I like that right there. That is nice. That is the breakout we're looking for. Good relative strength, decent volume. Yes, this would be one that I think we can buy right here. So this is probably going to make the list right now as I look at it. ZAYO, pretty good trend there. Pretty good trend there. Good trend there. Nice tight patterns. Yeah, this is nice. Good relative strength. Good volume. Nice breakout. Above the 200-day moving average. I really want to buy it on that 200-day moving average because that's going to be support. And my game plan is so much easier if I can do that. And this stock is what I call kind of chunky, meaning that it compresses, and then boom, you get a one-day move. Compress, compress, boom. So is it going to follow through and follow through? I don't know. My guess is that we'll have an opportunity to buy it at that 200-day moving average. And I'll put it above the 200-day moving average. If I can buy it here, then my stop is real easy. If it closes below the 200-day moving average, I'm out. Now, it does have nice horizontal support here as well, so I think the downside is very limited on this stock. And take a look, broad bandwidth infrastructure solutions. So they're in the communications industry. I like it. I'm going to go back and I'm going to widen our search just a little bit to see if I can pull in a few other candidates in here. And I'm going to make the option liquidity a little bit less restrictive. And we'll run the scan again. And see, you can do that. It's so easy to do. You can make all the searches more restrictive and less restrictive very, very easily by just adding and removing criteria. So I'm going to take a look down the list very quickly here and see if there's anything else that kind of strikes me. Conagra, CAG, oh yeah. It's coming up on that 200-day moving average, but I like everything else in here. Love that breakout on earnings and then marches higher and higher through that 100-day right in here. This is really a slam dunk trade with that kind of relative strength. Beautiful. We've looked at that. We've looked at that. Ooh, yeah. I like that. First Solar. That looks really good. Well, oil prices are higher. When oil prices are higher, solar stocks do well. This is really nice. You can see choppy move higher, but definitely a trend higher. So this is the kind of stock that we'll probably be able to buy on a pullback. So we're going to put a GTC alert. We'll put it there. We'll put another one below that opening price right on the low of the day. If it comes back in here, I'm interested for sure. This is a nice looking stock. I should also zoom out on this, and let me do that. Let's see what the longer term. I click the minus magnifying glass, and you can see this stock's got a lot of room to run. So it looks good. Here's a stock that's bottomed out and is starting to get through horizontal resistance, but it is choppy. No thank you. Nice trender. $23 stock. Nice breakout there. Compressing here, trying to inch higher. Really good relative strength. This is a casino stock, I believe. In fact, yes, I'm sure it is. Some of the Chinese stocks have been doing really well. Las Vegas Sands we've been in. That's been a nice stock. I like this. And it's a pretty easy stock to manage also because that lower end of the compression right there, I'll drop an alert line. That's your support line right there. If you pop back below it, it's probably going to come back and test that horizontal support right in here around the $24 range. But you'll want to be out if it can't continue to power higher. We want that relative strength to continue. Again, we do not have a market tailwind, so the stock has to do it on its own, which means we need follow through. But I like that one. I'm going to have a hard time remembering which stocks I really like and which ones I want to highlight. So we'll get through a couple more of these. SGMS. This is interesting. Really nice trender. Okay. And I like that. I also like that 100-day moving average right there because that's a natural entry point. If you can get through that, I want to know about it. GTC alert. But that's a really nice looking chart right there. So I'm hoping it pokes through because I think I'll have a good trade. Choppy, choppy. No, thank you. Oh, yeah. Okay. Valero, VLO. That makes the list. Ooh, I love that right there. So we want to buy this stock if it can get through, let's say, 88.50. It's on a buy signal. Relative strength is improving. Decent volume today. Major horizontal resistance. Let's zoom out. Very nice. It's bottomed. It's starting to really improve from a technical standpoint. It has room to run, so it may not need the market to rally. VLO, that's one of our stocks that we're going to trade this week, and it's one that we're going to be watching and tracking next week when we log in. WWE, choppy, breakout, not bad, long-term uptrend, not my favorite. I don't like these choppy moves. Nice, tight, predictable price action. And I don't want anything that's too far out of the gate. I want it where it's just starting to make its move through, like Xilinx. ZAYO. That's another nice one. So, after going through all these charts, I'm going to take a look and zoom out on this one. That was Melco Entertainment. I do like that one. I like First Solar. I like this stock if it can get through this, call it $50 level right here. So I'm going to add this to the list on one condition, that it can get through the $50 price level and close above it. So in the last 5 minutes of trading, if it's above $50, you buy it. And then you would use that horizontal resistance level as your stop, which is somewhere around the, let's call it the 49.50 level would be your stop on this. So stocks that we are definitely looking at, this CPRI, I like. I love VLO. That's going to be another one. And I like Xilinx. That'll give us 3 stocks to look at. And I'm going to go in, I'm going to click lists, and I'm going to write down Wednesday, April 10th. That's my new list. And my stocks are VLO, CPRI. If it can get above 50, XLNX. And I really like GTN that I showed you earlier. I think GTN is going to run tomorrow. I'll probably day trade it and be in and out of it. So I'm going to save and close. And the reason that I do this is I want you to know that this approach works. This is a systematic approach. It's so easy to find these stocks. I could just come in and run pop bull every single week. I've configured this search so that the stocks that I like to trade that are high probability come up. So that's really all I need. But I showed you another search today that was so easy to use. All I did was I came in and I marked option liquidity good, stock greater than prior day high, show me something with good volume. Now I've got to tell you, when I'm day trading, oh man, this is a fantastic search. So when I come in, let's say the market's down 15 S&P points, this is my go-to search. Show me a stock with heavy volume, show me a stock that's above the prior day's high and that has good option liquidity. If the market's down 15 S&P points and this stock is above the prior day high on heavy volume, hello, I want to know about it. I'm going to be trading it probably in the first 15 to 20 minutes. I just need to make sure that the market's not going to tank on me. And once I'm pretty confident that the market's finding support, these are the stocks that are going to run. Super easy to find. So that concludes tonight's video presentation. We've got 4 stocks that we're going to be tracking through the course of the week and trading, taking a position in. Know that the SPY is very flat. We've got earnings season kicking off. There's probably going to be a Brexit extension tonight. The market should like that. We had the FOMC minutes today. They were okay. We've got one big major piece of news coming out Friday. China's trade numbers will be very important because that will either confirm or reject the notion that the official PMI that came out a week ago was indicating that their economy had bottomed and that they're starting to recover. Mind you, that China PMI is what got this part of the rally going. A week ago, we gapped higher and we continued to float higher during the course of the last week. So Friday's China PMI number will be important, but all focus is really on earnings right now. And banks will start everything off, and up through mega cap tech earnings, the bid to the market is usually pretty strong. We're 2% off of the all-time high, so the headwinds are blowing. What all this means to me is that there's an underlying bid to the market. We're probably not going to move a whole lot higher because the headwinds are blowing. So we need to find stocks that can move higher on their own. And the best candidates are the ones that have been in a longer term horizontal compression that have just broken through horizontal resistance. Those moves tend to have follow through, and we need follow through. I showed you the picks from last week in a flat market. They all moved higher. For those of you who are not familiar with one option, please visit my website, www.oneoption.com. Option Stalker is the platform. It includes real-time data. You do not need a separate brokerage account. You do not need to pay for separate data. It's $399 per quarter, and I record these videos every Wednesday night for swing traders and to find swing trades and to show you how easy it is to find them. In reality, this is an unbelievable day trading platform, and in the chat room, we're using the platform to find trades throughout the course of the day. We've got a really seasoned group of professionals in the chat room. We all post our stock trades. It's all business. There's no chitty chat in there. It's all stock symbols, entries, and exits. Thanks so much. I'll see you next week.